Hello everybody, it's Henry. I'm working on my 2018 Porsche Macan S and I'm doing the front brakes. So I've already checked my brake reservoir. I got the cap cracked. It's getting pretty full, but I'll keep an eye on it when I push these calipers back on the passenger side. I already did the driver's side brakes. They're done. I did some videos on it and I made some things you're going to need. Make sure you got a good impact wrench with a good socket. You're talking 120 foot-pounds of torque on the wheel studs, so you want to make sure you break them free. I got some paint. When I clean the hub, I'll spray paint it to help keep with the rust down. I got 2 new bolts. I'm not sure why I got 2 new bolts, because the old bolts look good. They're not cracked, but I did modify the old bolts. Took the heads off them so they can be guides. I spent these are aluminum, like $10 on those when I got these off the front caliper. So remember, if you're going to change out your bolts, take the old ones and cut the heads off them and taper them, and then you got yourself guide bolts to go into your rotor and help with your tire. I did some video on that. So I got 2 new ones, not sure why. Now you torque them down to 20 foot-pounds and then you turn them another 90 degrees. Well, oddly enough, I'm going to do a video and a test on it, so stay tuned for this, because I'm going to take the old ones, do the 20 foot-pound torque, rotate it 90, and then use my torque wrench and take it off and see if they run 90 to 100 foot-pounds like the driver's side did. When I backed them off, they were running 90 to 100 foot-pounds before they broke free. So note to self. All right, so I got some new pads. How'd we get here? The dealership, I got 39,000 miles on my car. The dealership, oh, mister, you're at less than 5 millimeters and you need to replace your brakes and it'll be $3,000. I'm like, what? Yeah, well, we do rotors and pads and stuff. You know, I'm a mechanic. I've owned probably 35 some cars in my life. I'm 60 some years old. I've done all my own work except for certain stuff, but I pretty much do my own work. Now that I have live video, I can record my work and then give it to others. So this is a DIY. Whatever you do, follow all the procedures and safety precautions so you don't hurt yourself. This is not a get out of jail free because you saw it from Henry. I'm just telling you how I do things. So I looked at the rotors. Rotors are they're about 1 mil worn down. They like to go to 2 to 3 on the rotor. So I'm not replacing rotors. I don't go drag racing. I don't go on a fast track. I don't do any of that crazy crap. So I go 7 miles from work to home. And then we'll run around town for an hour or 2 and go see stuff. So I'm not going to go put new rotors on a car that I can get another set of brake life out of them and then replace all 4 rotors, all 4 brake pads as a set. So I'm not worried about it. So I did some research on this company called Power Stop Evolution. I went down to the parts store. I looked at theirs. I compared them to these. They all look like they made by the same company. Hard to tell any difference. So I said, well, what the heck? For $220, I did the back, and now I'm doing the front. So you spend what you want, put what you want on your car. These supposedly are low dust. They're carbon fiber ceramic performance pads. The rotors are fine. I buff them out. I take a 3M Scotch Guard with an air tool and I scuff them up, take the shine off them, and then I reseat the brake pads and keep on going. It's not like I'm going to put maybe I'll have this car another 6 years and I'll put maybe 20, 30,000 more miles on it. I'm not a heavy driver. I don't do that stuff anymore. And it's garage kept. So let's just keep it as that. So things you're going to need. So reuse your old studs for your guide. So don't buy them. Just take out your old ones, cut the heads off, and reuse them if you can. Get yourself some new ones. I got these from Auto Haas. They shipped them in less than 1 day. They were $3.24 a piece. So I guess for safety reason, change them out. You're going to need a 14 millimeter triple Torx drive. So I got one offline. $7.99, easy peasy. You need a brake caliper because there's 3 pistons on each side of this caliper. So you need something wide enough to grab all 6 of them to push them back. So I got me an in-between ratchet one. It's pretty nice. It was like $11. Not a big deal. Get yourself some hooks because the caliper is heavy and big. You need a flat tip screwdriver. You can use a rubber holdback if you want. Make sure you got a rag so it don't bounce against your rotor and stuff, tear it up. A breaker bar, torque wrench, and your brake pads. I got the simple pads. I didn't get it with all the hardware and pay extra $50 when I'm reusing the hardware. There's nothing wrong with it. I didn't buy sensor because the sensor's fine. It's worn down to about 5 millimeter, maybe 3. It's close, but it's to tell me that brake pad's almost onto the metal. It's nothing else. It's very easy sensors. Not a big deal. So don't go out and buy sensors if you haven't activated one. Now, if you activate it, change it. But in my opinion, reuse it. Hammer for knocking off the rotor. because it gets on there pretty good. And then you're cleaning regular dish soap, scrub pads. I got some McGuire rust remover cleaner that works pretty good. I'll spray that on there too, and that's basically what you need to get going. So let's get rock and rolling. I don't want this to be too long on you, because I had one I did for the rear, it was like 45 minutes. I don't want to do that on you. Sorry about that, but I'm not an expert at this, and I don't make money on it. And then hit like and submit and all that other happy crap if you wish. This is just to help you. All right, so these are torqued to 120 foot-pounds, and let me tell you, they're on there. I gotta get a little air. I gotta bring it up a little more. My tire needs more gas. I have hair more. Give me a few seconds there. I'm using my V-Bore airbag lift. It really works nice. Back it up with a jack. And I go high enough, my tire's still touching. So I'm coming up a little higher with my air jack. That's good. This video, I just wanted to go over the tools and things you need. And then I'm just going to pop the tire off. I'll put my guide bolts in and show you. And then I'm going to do a video. None of this stuff I'm advertising for anything. This power impact wrench is a little beast. So if you want a tool that's fairly inexpensive and actually good quality, the Bauer is really a good impact. So far I've probably done 12 tires with that same battery, and it ain't even showing anything yet. And it's got a variable speed torque on it. You can take it down. That's it for popping the tire. I usually just use the heel of my hand. Do a little martial art move on it. Pop your studs out. They all look good. Make sure you look them over. This particular one has 5 of them in. You got to have your key. Make sure you got your key out for your tire lock. I'll put this over here. I've done a video on how to clean these rims using that McGuire's cleaner. That McGuire's tire and wheel cleaner, good stuff. Now, my big thing in this video is I'll talk about these two. I got the cleaning projects, we got the wheel off, and like I said, I want to keep this segment going too long. I want to keep it kind of specific what you need. So that's what you need. That's how easy it is to pull the tire off with your impact wrench. And what I'll do now is start another video talking about these bolts that go right here that I took the cap off and then I made them go in this hub. They're 14 millimeter by 125, and these are the ones that actually go in the caliper, actually fit in your rotor, and the rear brakes too. The rear rotors, same thing. So I'm going to leave those in, and that's kind of what I did. I cut the heads, tapered them, and now they're a tool, so you don't have to buy that. So many tools and uses, getting the tire off, and then get to this point. Again, I don't want to make the video real long. I want to keep this session short on this part, and next I'm going to go to the actual caliper bolt, and we're going to do a test on it and why people want to replace it. I know what they're torqued to, and I'm going to see what a 20 foot-pound and a 90-degree torque turn does and what the foot poundage is then. Oh, I got the wheel pointed. Each side I got it pointed so the rotor and the caliper are pointed far out from the car, so it's easier for you to work on. That's a good key point. Rotate your wheels so that you got all the room you need to work on this. We got plenty of swing room. When you go to do this, you can hang it right off the swing arm with your hooks. So that's it for that. All right, Henry out.